Nancy Pelosi says Comey's revelations on Loretta Lynch, not such a big deal. Nancy Pelosi, Democrat of California, on Friday said she didn't think it was such a big deal that former Attorney General Loretta Lynch directed former FBI Director James Comey to refer to Hillary Clinton's criminal email investigation as a matter. The hypocrisy. What should we expect from Nancy Pelosi after she criticized President Trump for not visiting countries in alphabetical order? When a reporter asked Pelosi if it was a big deal that Comey was directed by former Attorney General Loretta Lynch to use Hillary Clinton's campaign verbiage and refer to her criminal email investigation as a matter, here was her response. I'm not going to repeat it. Let's just take a quick listen.
Yes, in a ultimately conclusive way. That was the thing that capped it for me, that I had to do something separately to protect the credibility of the investigation, which meant both the FBI and the Justice Department. Probably the only other consideration that I guess I can talk about in open setting is that at one point the Attorney General had directed me not to call it an investigation, but instead to call it a matter, which confused me and concerned me.
As to whether that is a big deal, House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi has reacted saying this.
I think that President Clinton was probably paying a courtesy visit to people in the same place. You say hello. It was unfortunate, though, because it was misinterpreted as for what it was. Matter, investigation. I don't know that that's such a big deal.
Well, that language, Simon, the former FBI director said, the way he explained it, he said he was concerned by it because it seemed to track the language that the Clinton campaign was using, and he said whether it meant anything or not, he didn't want to risk the appearance of that.
Yeah, he also said that it didn't work. I mean, as soon as he used it, everyone used the word investigation anyway. And I don't think this is really news. I mean, I think we know the essence of what he was discussing, which is that he felt uncomfortable with the Attorney General's involvement in the investigation because of her meeting, because of the matter, and because of the meeting with President Clinton. And so he went on an independent route. He maintained the independence of his investigation. He was also trying to do that with Donald Trump, and it didn't work. He was fired. There's a huge difference between how the Obama administration handled this and how the Trump administration handled this. So it is material that he was able to finish his investigation under President Obama, but not under President Trump.
Well, Katie, I'll give you a chance to respond.
Well, it's news for a couple of reasons. The first is that it's news based on the situation we're in now, because the left has been accusing President Trump of obstruction of justice without any kind of evidence on the Russia investigation. But here we are yesterday with James Comey saying, look, Loretta Lynch directed me and told me to use the term matter, not investigation. And it does matter in the sense that the Hillary Clinton campaign repeatedly called the FBI's criminal investigation of Hillary Clinton a security review, which James Comey last year told Catherine Herridge he wasn't aware of what a security review is because the FBI does criminal investigations. And so it really does matter. It also matters because in the election last year, one of the issues that was severely overlooked when it comes to voters is that they were concerned about government corruption. And Loretta Lynch made James Comey's job harder when she met on the plane with Bill Clinton, and she made the American voters' decision a little bit easier when it came to election day based on this type of, at least perceived, collusion.
Well, and we were hearing from a man yesterday who was fired publicly. And if you've ever been fired, and I was for my first TV job from a guy who told me I was terrible and would never make it.
Oh, no.
So not true. So not true.
I tried for 2 hours, and then I've been trying to prove him wrong ever since. Anyway, listen, Mr. Comey had some really strong language, Simon, yesterday. I mean, he basically called the president a liar multiple times and said one of the reasons that he decided to write these memos is because he thought the president would lie about their conversations. They were very strong words.
They were, and I think, look, just taking one step back from where we are, if this investigation and the other two investigations were going to happen no matter what the White House did, and what Donald Trump has done in his mismanagement of this has drawn attention to himself. He's extended the life of the investigations themselves by delaying them. And he's also, created an enormous amount of attention on the investigations themselves. And so what would have been smart, I think, in retrospect, would have been for the White House to have worked to accelerate these investigations. If nothing is wrong, and he's done nothing wrong, right, they should have gotten it over quickly. They've done the exact opposite, and I think it's been grossly mismanaged at a political level by the president, and I'm sure that he's upset at himself, frankly, for having made this far worse than it would have been otherwise.
Really? Really? Now, let's see in a court of law if, when we get to Pelosi, let's see in a court of law if what she says is true, that it doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. Let's see in a court of law. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching.